Welcome to Microsoft Office Word 2010. In this lesson, we will be working with on-screen tools, opening the Backstage view, using the help system, creating and saving a document, previewing and printing a document, and also saving a file in a different file format. To start Microsoft Office Word, you go to the Start button, go to All Programs. At this point, you can type Word into the search box and it pops up. If you don't type Word into the search box, you can scroll until you find Microsoft Office in the Start menu. Then you can find Word in the sub menu. Click on Microsoft Office Word 2010 and you launch a new document. When you start Microsoft Office Word, a new blank document automatically appears and the insertion point is blinking in the upper left-hand corner of the document. Word 2010 has many on-screen tools that help you create and edit your documents. When you first open it up, you notice the ribbon at the top. It has 8 different tabs, and you can choose to show the Developer tab in the Backstage view for a 9th tab. The ribbon tabs have groups. On the Home tab, there's the Clipboard group, the Font group, the Paragraph group, the Styles group, and the Editing group. And as you click on each tab, you see different groups. In each group is a set of related commands, and these commands are in buttons. Some buttons have the drop down arrows which you can click to get a menu of more options. The little box at the edge of each group with a little arrow on it is called a dialog box launcher. If you click the Font dialog box launcher, you see the Font dialog box pop up and lots of different font options in there that you can choose. The Styles group has a gallery, and you can click the More button. If you mouse over it, you get the screen tip and you see that it says it's the More button. You can click on the More button to see more options and more pictures of things that you can select in the gallery. The Word ribbon can also be minimized to give you more working area on the screen. To minimize the ribbon, double click on the Home tab, or pretty much you can double click on any active tab, or you can right click and choose Minimize Ribbon. To get it back, just uncheck Minimize the Ribbon, or again you can double click the tabs to minimize or restore the Word ribbon. Key in your Word document, key in the term Mini Toolbar. Select the Word toolbar and notice a faint box appears. When you mouse closer to that faint box, this is the Mini Toolbar. As you mouse away, it begins to dim, and you mouse closer, it gets brighter. On the Mini Toolbar, there are common commands that you can choose from. You can click on the Font drop-down arrow to choose a font. Notice, as you're doing this, notice in the background, you get a live preview of what those changes will do to your document. To get out of the Mini Toolbar, just press Escape twice. Also, you can right-click on a selected word and you get a Mini Toolbar and a shortcut menu. The shortcut menu has even more common commands that you can use. In Word, at the very top on the title bar, to the left-hand side, there is a quick access toolbar. Now, by default, it just has save, undo, and redo. I have customized mine to have more common commands that I use frequently. At this time, I want you to customize your quick access toolbar. Locate the little drop-down arrow at the right-hand edge of the quick access toolbar. When you mouse over it, it says Customize Quick Access Toolbar. Click the drop-down arrow and have a check. Place a check beside New. Place a check beside Print Preview. So you may have to click this button several times, but click until you have these items checked to customize your quick access toolbar. To execute commands more quickly, rather than reaching for your mouse to click on the ribbon for everything, you can use key tips. Word 2010 and as well as Word 2007 introduced key tips. If you press the Alt tab, notice that you get numbers for the options on your quick access toolbar at the very top, and for each of your ribbon tabs you get a letter. In this case, press H to activate the Home tab. Notice that the numbers and letters change for the different options, and let's press let's press letter AC to center. Notice it changed it to centering. And then let's press the Alt tab again. H for the Home tab. And let's change it to left alignment, which is AL. So you can more quickly execute commands by using your key tips. Again, to display key tips, you press the Alt tab on the keyboard. Now, let's look at the backstage view of Word 2010. The backstage view can be accessed by clicking on the File tab. Click on the File tab. Notice that the first or the default selection on the File tab is Info, and it gives you information over here about your document. The backstage view offers quick access to commands for printing, file management, opening, closing, saving, sharing Word documents, and various other commands, other options, and they're all displayed right here together on the File tab for easy access. Let's click on some of the options of the backstage view to see what options are available. If you click on the Save option, since we've not yet saved our document, it brings up the Save As dialog box. If we had saved our documents, it would just simply save the changes without bringing up the dialog box. Go back to File. I closed out of that. Now go back to File. Save As will also bring up the Save As dialog box, whether or not you have already saved the file. And Save As lets you change things such as the file type. It lets you save the location or the folder in which it is saved, and you can also change the file name. Go ahead and cancel out of here. Click on the File tab again. You can see the Open, the Close. Let's click on Recent. You may not have anything in your recent files, but I have several things in my recent files, as I have worked on many things recently. The New button, or the New menu, brings up all kinds of things for creating a new document, a new blank document. There are all kinds of templates that you can choose from in the New option in the backstage view. If you click on Print, you see all of your print options, plus you see a print preview. On here you can change how many copies you want. You can change which printer you use. You can change which pages you want to print. If maybe you only want to print page 2, you can specify that in here. Maybe if you want several pages per sheet, you can select this option. Save and send lets you save it or send it as an email attachment, save it to the web, and other options in here. You can save it as a PDF file, which is a file that is read only to the people you share it with. They can't change it. And then you have the options. Well, you have help to get more information about certain commands. If you need to know how to do something in particular, you can use the help in the file tab. To access help, you can also click the help button up here in the toolbar next to the ribbon. And you can also press F1 to access help. F1 on your keyboard. You have the options, word options, that you can go into and set all kinds of different options and change defaults. Like right here is where you could change the username. Let's do that now. Click on, if you haven't already, click on File, click on Options, make sure General is selected, and then type in your first and last name. And then put the initials in lowercase letters. And then click OK. And that is a look at using Backstage View. Now let's take a look at Word's help system. I've already told you that you can access the help system on the File tab, or you can use the button on next to the ribbon, the question mark button, or you can press F1. Let's use it by clicking the question mark button up here. When you access help, it opens in a separate window. Let's maximize this window. Remember, you can maximize by double-clicking on the title bar right here, or by clicking the maximize button. I'm going to double-click on the title bar. And mine is loading help. Notice in the right-hand corner, you see your connection status menu. If you click down here, it's got a little globe on it. And you can choose to show content from office.com, and I think that is the default view. This will show a globe, and it looks like it's connected to the internet, in which it is. If you click show content only from this computer, which please do that, click on the connection status menu and then click show content only from this computer. Then you get a table of contents over to the side. If you didn't get the table of contents, then you can click the show table of contents button, and notice that it toggles back and forth between show or hide. Show the table of contents, and then you also see the help items as links for you to click on. In the search box right below the toolbar, which is right below the title bar, in the search box, key the word ribbon. We are going to look for help about the ribbon. And we see over here in the right hand pane of the window the links, and we're going to click on minimize the ribbon. And you notice that you get information about how to minimize the ribbon, and you get steps on how to do that. In fact, you get a lot of different information about minimizing the ribbon. You can hit the back button. There's a forward button. There's a stop button to stop the search. A refresh button to refresh the search, and a home button. Click the home button at this time. Home button takes you back to where to kind of the default screen of when you first open Word. Click on Getting Started with Word. And then click on Getting Started with Word 2010. And you see instructions on how to get started using Word. Let's now close the Word help system. Now press F1 and see how that activates Word help system as well. Close back out. And that is how you use Word help system. In this part of the lesson, we're going to create a new document. Let's close out. Let's go to File, Close, and we do not want to save changes to this current document. When you choose the Close option from the File tab, it closes the document without closing the whole program. This saves us from having to relaunch Word. Now all we need to do is start a new document. And since we want a new blank document, we can just go to our Quick Access toolbar because we just customized it in an earlier lesson and click on New. Otherwise, you can go to File, New, and double click on Blank Document. But I'm going to choose the Quick Access toolbar, New. Okay, and we are going to create a business letter, and most business letters have a 2-inch top margin. So let's go to Page Layout, change the margins, click the drop down button on to get the margins menu, click on Custom Margins, and we want a top 2-inch margin and all of the rest of the margins to be 1 inch. So notice now, if you've got your ruler showing, you see that it's a 2-inch margin. If you don't have your ruler showing, over here above the vertical scroll bar is the Show Hide ruler, View Ruler button. Make sure your ruler is turned on. Now, we're going to use autocomplete to type in our date. Our date is September, so type in SEPT, and you should see a screen tip pop up. When the screen tip pops up, you can press Enter to enter the rest of the month. Autocomplete will autocomplete many things. You can set it to complete certain things, but mainly it's for dates and months and days of the week and common things that you type over and over that it will automatically complete for you. After you've hit enter to accept September, press the space bar and you see the rest of the date pop up there. Press enter, and then we're going to press enter 2 more times. You always have extra space between the date and the inside address. Now we're going to key in the inside address. We're keying a block style letter, and this letter is going to have mixed punctuation. And I'll explain more about that. You can have a block style letter with open punctuation or with mixed punctuation, and block style just means that that all of the text is lined up on the left margin. So we're getting ready to type in the inside address. This is the address to whom the letter is going. So we're going to type it. We're going to send this letter to Miss Miriam Lockhart. Press enter after you type her name. And we're going to fix this spacing because this is not correct spacing here, but we'll fix it in a minute. Press enter one time after each line of the address, and then we're going to type the salutation. And since we are using mixed punctuation, you put a colon after the salutation. Now, I've displayed non-printing characters. To display the non-printing characters, these are formatting characters that help me see what's going on with my document. Every time I press enter, I get this paragraph mark. When I press space, I get the little dot in between the words. And there are other formatting marks, like when you do a page break or a line break, you will see different symbols pop up. Tabs show a little arrow. So these are non-printing characters. When you print the letter, they won't show up. They're just there to help you as you're formatting. Press enter one time after the salutation, and we are getting ready to key the letter. As you're keying, press spacebar one time after each period. And as you get to the end of a line, just keep typing, and you will notice that your insertion point will automatically go to the next line, and that is called word wrap. When you get to the end of the first paragraph, press enter one time. Notice that Word puts extra spacing between paragraphs when you press enter. There's less spacing between the lines as you let word wrap go than when you press enter. Okay, we're going to finish the rest of the letter. Key in the rest of the letter here. When you get to the end of the letter, the last paragraph, press enter one time and type the closing. Notice that the closing will have a comma after it because the salutation or the greeting line has a colon. This is called mixed punctuation. Press enter 2 times after the closing and type in the author's name of the letter. After you type in his name, press enter 1 time and then key in your initials and press enter. If you see that your initials have been automatically uppercased, then click on the autocorrect options drop down arrow and choose to undo automatic capitalization. Your typist initials are only necessary if the letter is not from you but you've typed it for someone else, and when you put them in, make sure they're lowercase. Let me get rid of these extra enters that I've got on here. Now, I've already told you that by default, and let me fix it back like it was. Let's see here. By default, Word puts in extra space between paragraphs. So every time you hit enter, it adds that extra space. You can tell that by looking through your document. Every time you hit enter, it gives you extra space. That's the default settings. That is not correct settings, though, for formatting this address. We need to take that extra spacing off the first 2 lines of this address. Don't take it off the last line, but the first 2 to 3 lines. If you've got a 4-line paragraph, you would need to do the first 3 lines. In this case, we just need to do the first 2 lines. Notice our mini toolbar is trying to pop up. We are going to go to the Home tab. In the paragraph group, And we're going to choose the line and paragraph spacing button, and we're going to click remove space after paragraph. And that fixes our line spacing for our address. And zoom down here. We'll zoom down and you should see that you have a block style letter with mixed punctuation. Now we're ready to save our document. To save our document, we will first need to launch the Save As dialog box. And since we're saving this document for the very first time, we can either use the Save command or the Save As command to open the Save As dialog box. Click on the File tab and click Save, and you notice the Save As dialog box opens. The name of our file is Tech Terrace Letter, and your name. The type we are not going to change. It's going to be a Word document, but I do want you to create a new folder called Word 2010 and your name. And then open this folder. You can double click on it, or you could have chosen open. And then we're going to save Tech Terrace Letter in this folder. You should have your first and last name in your file name, and click Save. Now, we're going to save this as a different file type so that we could send it electronically to someone who may have an older version of Word. If you send a Word 2010 document to someone who has an older version of Word, it may not open. So we need to save it as a different file type. So go to File. And this time, since we have already saved this document, if we want to change the file type or anything else about it, we have to choose Save As. We're going to name it Tech Terrace Letter 2. We're going to put a 2 after it. We're going to make sure that we're saving it to the Word 2010 Your Name folder. And we are going to save it as type Word 97 2003 document. So click on the Save As Type and choose Word 97 2003. And then click Save. Notice your title bar now says that you are working in compatibility mode. When you open an older document in Word 2010, it starts working in compatibility mode to help make some of the features and formatting to help load that formatting and make it easier to read in that formatting. However, some formatting is lost when you open a newer document in an older one. When you save to an older file format, sometimes you will lose some formatting. We're working in compatibility mode. If we want to convert this back to Word 2010, say maybe we've opened it from an email or something, if we're working in compatibility mode, we can easily convert an older document. Go to File, and then in the Info group, click on the Convert button. If you get prompted, just click Yes to tell it that you want it to do that. And then convert it, and notice you no longer have compatibility showing in your title bar. If you click the Save button, it will save that as a docx file and change it back to a docx file. Now let's close our document without closing Word. Go to the File tab and click on Close. And notice you have Word still open. Now, in our folder, we can see our file types or our file extensions, or we can choose not to display file extensions. I personally like to see my file extensions so I know what application is required to open a file when I look in my files and folders. Let's click on the Start button and let's type in Show Hidden Files and Folders. And then click on it up here in the top of our Start menu. And this opens the Folder Options dialog box, and there are three tabs. There's General, View, and Search. On the View tab, scroll down and make sure that Hide Extensions for Known File Types is unchecked. Uncheck that and click OK. Now go to your documents. You can click on the folder or you can go to Start Documents. I like to click on the folder. I think it's faster. Then click on Documents and then click on your folder, your Word 2010 folder, and when you open it up you should see the file types, the file extensions behind each of your files. And you can go ahead and close that. Go ahead and close out Word completely. And then let's go into our documents and open Word 2010 folder and open the letter 2. Go to the File tab. Let's go to Save As, and let's save it as a PDF file. A PDF file is readable by Adobe Reader, and so if someone doesn't have Word on their computer, most computers still can download the Adobe Reader and read this document across more platforms than just the Windows 7 and Word 2010. And it's read-only, so the people who view it can't change it. So that's another benefit of saving it as a PDF. So change it to a PDF, and then make sure it's going to go into your Word 2010 folder. If it's not, navigate to that folder, and then click Save. Now go back to your folder, and when you look, you see the file extension .pdf after that folder. And also notice you can tell the difference by the icons at the beginning. Go ahead and close out of there. Close the PDF that automatically opened, and go ahead and close the Word program one more time. Let's go ahead and open Word again. Let's use the File tab. Look for your recent document, and let's choose the Tech Terrace letter, your name. Click on it to open it. Now let's print this letter. Before we print, though, in this class you always need to put something in your footer. Double click in the footer area. You know your footer area. If you're looking at your ruler, it's the blue section of your ruler. Move your cursor into that area on the paper near the bottom of the page and double click. And we need to go to the Design tab, and we're going to add our path and file name so I know which folder you're saving in, and so I know whose name. This is the way you put your name on your paper. So go to Quick Parts, choose Field, scroll down, choose File Name, and then click Add Path to File Name and click OK. You should see the path that you're saving to, the folders that you're saving in, and last but not least, your file name. Now we're ready to print. To get out of the footer, you can double click. Let's go ahead and save our change to this. Click the Save button to save our changes. And then let's go to File and then Print. Now you need to change your printer, the one that your teacher tells you to. We set our default printer in here last week. Choose your printer. You can click the drop down arrow to choose your printer. We want one copy. You should only have one page. Make sure you only have one page showing down here. If you enter a bunch of times at the end of your letter, you may have two. If you have 2 pages showing, then you need to go back up here and tell it to only print page 1. And then use all the other default settings. And then choose Print. Click Print and then put your printout in the tray that your teacher has told you to turn your work into. And this concludes our lesson. Introducing Microsoft Word 2010 and a block style business letter.